Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Angela Kreps. After transitioning her replacement CEO at BioKansas as her first client, Angela Kreps built a clientele of small to medium-sized companies in multiple markets. Today, Kreps fulfills contract work on top of full-time employment. In 2019, Kreps formed a joint venture, B&K Initiatives, for managing consulting clients with a partner. Also in 2019, she joined Aspyre Wealth Partners full-time as Chief Connector, responsible for revenue growth, business partnerships, webinars, and speaking engagements. From 2015 to 2019, she was retained, then hired by Sekisui Xenotech. Well, good afternoon, Angela. Welcome to the show.
Well, hello.
It's amazing to have you on, Angela. We've shared some screen time, I know, in the past, or at least face-to-face. You're here in Kansas City, and I'm so excited to have you on. And what I'd like to do tonight is really kind of jump into your story, your career background, what you're doing, so we can turn around and share this with our global audience. So, Angela, jumping into this first question, let's talk about your career in bioscience as an executive. And now you're the partner of B&K Initiatives and also the chief connector for Aspyre Wealth Partners. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think what I've tried to do with my work is to make sure that my values and purpose are aligned with what I choose to do at work. And I've been involved with a couple of career pivots in my life. The first one was moving from the financial services industry into the bioscience industry. And then from there, from the bioscience industry back into financial services. And both of those times that I went through the career pivots, it was where I felt my values and my purpose weren't really aligned with my work. And sometimes I would find myself, I've always really enjoyed the jobs that I've had. I've enjoyed the work that I do. And many times I find myself working with just incredibly great people. But sometimes when I don't feel like my values are aligned, I wander and wonder. And what's carried me through has been my ability to believe that I'm enough, that nobody has the exact same skills, capabilities, experiences as anybody else. And so that makes you perfectly suited for chasing the right things that help you get that alignment with your life and your work.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. I think that's so important, and people don't realize a lot of times, we talk to people here on the show is that alignment and your core values, that goes a long way because your life and your business, your company, your work, that's all intermingled. And so that's very important. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's really important. And Angela, what was the single biggest business decision during this lockdown or pandemic during the first year? And how different is your business strategy today?
The biggest change I had to make was just getting rid of some limiting beliefs. I mean, there's just so much dramatic change that's taken place over the last 2 years. And I think the one business strategy I put in place doesn't even seem like a business strategy. I started a gratitude practice where I start every single day being grateful for any number of things. But starting out with gratitude has helped me to overcome some of these limiting beliefs and to get through some of the challenges that these last couple of years have presented with work.
Thank you again for sharing that. We've all, and I think, honestly, this podcast came out of the pandemic, right? And so we get to hear what people have done and what people are still doing as far as that goes. So thank you. And Angela, this is a technology platform. And so we wanted to ask you a little bit, maybe are you leveraging any new or emerging technologies within your business or your tech stack? If not, maybe you can share some cool tool or app that you're using in your business today.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because the technology that, to make such simple seeming things easier has been transformational in this last couple of years for me. One of those things is an application called Schedule Once. And it's just basically a way for me to coordinate all of my calendars and to get appointments scheduled on my calendars with a Zoom link included, all in one time. So I can connect with you. You can easily go to my Schedule Once link. You can make an appointment that coordinates with my calendar and availability, that you get to choose what works with your availability. And then poof, in the calendar request is the Zoom link, and I don't have to do anything else. That has really been transformational from the standpoint of not only productivity, but also limiting the frustration of multiple calendars, multiple locations. And it's seemingly so simple, but has really made a big difference. And the other one I would say is an AI application that I'm using in conjunction with LinkedIn. It's a company called Copilot, and they've been able to help me make appointments so much easier with my target audience. So those two things were transformational for me.
That's awesome. And we hear a lot of that lately. This podcast now is going on 2 years old, and we see it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the pandemic. We talked about that, right? Humankind has learned to innovate because they're forced into a corner here. And what do we got to do? So I appreciate you sharing that. That's helpful for a lot of executives out there today. And Angela, last question. Can you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in leadership or entrepreneurship?
Well, I don't really know what exactly to share that would be anything more personal than my approach to life, which is what I call positive reframing. And it's like when things happen to you, we automatically have a script that kind of goes off in our head. And I've been able to implement this positive reframing, like just rewind a little bit, because sometimes the script that goes off in your head is built around false narratives. And sometimes if you just take a step back and you say, what would be the most positive or favorable outcome for me instead of whatever it is that I'm thinking? Why did the situation happen? Why did someone say no instead of yes? So then I try to create that scenario, because we're making up a story about what just happened anyway. So why not make up a story that is good, that's positive, and that resets you into, the next moment, the next interaction, the next thing you're doing with a positive outlook on it, instead of whatever other story you're telling yourself.
I love that. We all need some positivity, and if you could translate that into our news outlets today, if they could do the same thing, I think this world would be a better place. And I really mean that. So thank you for sharing that, Angela. That's amazing. And Angela, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Well, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Bye for now.